Hello, Killian here, and today we will be using collisions as a form of a trigger to create pickups and use some functionality with them. For that I'm going to create a small object of a type of cube, like that. Make it a little bit smaller, 0.5, 0.5, yeah. And I'm going to create the box collider size a little bit larger, like 2.5, 2.5 on the y-axis and 2.5 on the z-axis. So now we have a cube. Can put it on the ground, yeah, like that. We're going to call it key. So we are going to create a door that can slide up whilst having the key in your inventory. So we also need a door. Create a cube. I'm going to do it like this, like that. Like that. To the inside so it's nicely masked. And this we're going to call door. And for this one we're going to leave the original box collider on it, but we're also going to add another box collider and use this as set this is trigger to true. So now we can create a field around the door, so that whenever the player walks in the field, we can enable something with script. So the second one, I'm going to do this size a little bit like 7 or so, yeah. So call that door, and then this one I forgot to make it is trigger, like that. So now let's create a new folder called scripts, and inside here we will create a new C# script called key. I'm going to also create a player script and a door script. Oops, yeah, like that. I also imported some sound effects already. Like for the example, I'm going to use this for the whenever the player walks through the door, but doesn't have the key inside his inventory. This sound will play, and whenever the player picks up the key over here, we're going to play the pickup sound like this. So yeah. So let's go over to scripts, and for the first things we will do the play script. Let's open Visual Studio. Oops. Well, this really takes some time. Over here, yeah. As we can see, Unity creates a default script with some methods inside of it. Each class has to derive from the mono behavior class whenever you want to put the script on side of a game object. As you can also see, we have a method called void start and a method called void update. Void start is essentially called right whenever the game starts and the game object is activated, and the update is called once every frame. So input logic will mostly be put inside of the void update, and whenever you need to assign some variables that are like you need to find a game object whenever the game starts, you put it in the void start. So for now, let's create some variables like a private bool for player has key. I'm going to set it to default, false on default. And then we are going to create a method. I'm going to make it the access modifier a public, so we can access the method, or we can access rather the method from outside another script. So call it update haskey, and in here, oh, forgot to add a return type of void. So the method will not return anything; it will just run the code, and that's it. Update haskey, and then bool value. So now we can change the value over here with or actually let's do another way. What we should do is create a property rather than a method, like bool player has ski, like this, and then get and a set. Get is just return this value, player as key, and then the player has key equals value. A value is essentially just a basic input value that comes with the type of property. So now we created a property with the access modifiers of get and set, so we can get what this value is with this one, and we can set this value with this field inside this script. So now we can change the value of if the player has the key or not. So that's it for this script, and then let's go back to Unity. And for the key, I'm going to actually ditch all of this, and we are going to create a public, or well, just make it private on trigger, private void on trigger enter. It takes a parameter of type collider and just call it col. Damn it. Like this. On trigger enter is like the same as start and update. It's essentially a built-in method that Unity recognizes and fires whenever a collider enters a collider that is set to a trigger. So if we remember, we set the key over here as a trigger, like here, yeah. And whenever the capsule collider will enter this field over here, it will fire, where is it? It will fire this method. What we need to do is basically set the value over here to true, so the player has the key, and we'll do that by just simply well, let's just do a safety measure, and we're going to use tags, like go to the FPS controller, then you can see tag over here. Now, for now it's untagged. We are going to assign it the player tag. So these are default tags that Unity creates for you, but you can also create a new tag, and just by clicking here, enter your tag, and it will create your tag. with this, I'm going to differentiate between a valid collider that can enter and other stuff that can accidentally fly through the collider, and the fire repo script, which we don't need exactly. We only need the player to fire the on-trigger enter method. So let's go back to on-trigger enter, and then if gonna create a if statement for if call dot tag equals, let's just create a public string valid tag over here, valid tag like that, and we're going to already name it to player, and then if call dot tag equals valid tag, we're going to run the code inside of here. Excuse me. So for now we are going to do a call dot game object, rather call dot get component of our player script, and then dot, where is it? Player has key, and then we're going to set it to true. And we are also going to play the sound we imported a while back, and that's going to be a audio clip. Picked up sound like this, and yeah, that's it. So the problem we are going to get when we want to either play the audio clip and destroy the object at the same time, the audio source will also be destroyed. So we are going to use a line of code so that Unity generates an audio source game object for you at the same position that the key is in. So for now, just do destroy. So we can call this method to destroy game objects inside of Unity, and that will be of call.game object. It's very important to specify the .game object, otherwise destroy will not find the object, or it will destroy only the component, and that's not what we want. We want the full object to be destroyed whenever the player picks it up. And for now, we're also going to do an audio source dot play clip at point. This is a very nifty method I use all the time for playing sounds whenever things get destroyed. So play clip at point, and then we're going to give it the picked up sound audio clip, and then the position. The position is the same as collider dot or no, this dot transform dot position, like that, yeah. And that's basically it for our key. So now go back to Unity, and we will create this the last thing we need for our door over here. I'm going to make it a little bit smaller, yeah, like that. And let's open door script. Also the same, ditch these, and we're going to use the same method of public void on trigger enter. Takes a collider, and then yeah, we're also going to make a valid tag over here, player, like that, and the same, we're going to also play a audio sound if the player doesn't have the key in his inventory. No key, no key not found, like that. And so now we are going to do a if call dot tag is valid tag, And then we are also going to do a if call dot get component of player, and then the player has key. If it is true, we are going to let the player through, and if it's not, if the player doesn't have the key, we are going to play the key not found clip. So audio source dot play clip at point, the key not found, and the position is the same as the door, so this dot transform dot position. Well, actually the better way to do this is get component and then type of transform position. I'm going to change that for also key. Yeah. And for this one, we're going to do we're going to make it so that we're going to rotate the door open. So we're going to basically rotate the door on its y-axis by just doing a 90-degree rotation like that, so the player can walk around the door. So for that we are going to back to a script, and we are going to do a this dot get component transform rotate, yeah, rotate, and we're going to do two parameters, which we're first going to specify on which axis we want to rotate this on. So create a new vector tree, and since we are doing the y-axis, the x-axis and the z-axis is going to be 0 and the y-axis is going to be 1. And then we are going to specify how much we want to rotate in angles, and that's just 90 degrees in float value. Very important when working with float values, you do the F keyword at the back of it. So now the door will rotate 90 degrees on its y-axis. So let's go back to Unity, and we are going to firstly go to the FPS controller and put the player script on there. Then we are going to go to the key, put the key script on here. The valid tag is already set up, and then we're going to go to SFX folder for the pickup sound, put it in there, and then we are going to our door and add the door script on it. Also the audio clip of lock door, yeah, like that. Hit play, and we'll see if it works or not. So for now I'm going to test if when we don't have the key. Strange. So I actually returned to our script over here, and I encountered a Stack Overflow exception. I found out what I did wrong, and it was basically that I returned the same name of this property. It actually has to be the player ASCII. So now it should be all good, and we will go back to Unity, clear that, and let's play it. So now, for now, I'm going to test that if we don't have the key. So we just lock the door, and it plays our audio. You can also see that on the hierarchy panel to create a one-shot audio object underneath the door, and Unity manages that for itself. So now let's pick up the key. managed to fuck that up also. Let's see what that is. It's all about. Yeah. It's actually need to be digital to game object. I destroyed the camera. So let's play again. We already test no key, so let's do the key. And it picked up the key. And I'll go to a door. And it rotated the door open. It's not very smoothly, but yeah. And you can see if we trigger it again, it will play the animation again. I'm going to fix that real quick. The door, we're going to create a private bool is opened. Set it to false, and then whenever we do this, set the is opened to true. Like that. Let's play it real quick. Pick up the key. And open the door. And whenever we go back. Yeah. Silly me. And it's not opened. Like that. That should work. Now if you go back, you can see that doesn't do it anymore. So okay guys, that was it for this video. For the next video we are going to do some basic enemies and nav mesh tracking, so the enemies who follow our player. And after that we will discuss the matter of creating ammo pickups, and we will create our shoot script with weapons. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video and find it helpful, so please leave a like, a comment and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Have a good one.